Hey, what's up, team? Due to popular request, I've decided to put up the tutorial for the Izer combiner. I'm not going to state the name, the category in which these robots belong in. You know, it's W, then Izer, because that word that begins with W is kind of frowned upon. And so, yeah, anyway, I'll show you the front with Sammer at the helm. Also, I'm calling him Sammer because I'm trying to avoid certain words, right? And this is kind of like the side back profile. I think that looks really nice, very heroic, very strong. I do like the angles that the legs produce, like on the back over here. I like that a lot. I think that looks very, very, very good. And that's the back. Originally, these are heel stilts actually, and they were facing directly down, but it was making them kind of lean forward, and so I have them at an angle right now. But that's what the back looks like. I mean, cohesive, yes, but at the same time, it's a ton of bots just coming together to create this huge, huge, huge guy. And so, yeah, it is going to get a bit messy. Also, full disclosure, I mentioned this in the short. When I created this, I totally forgot to include red cog, and so red cog is not present. And if we think about the the Izer family, it's only really the three originally. We have cog, we have Brunt, and we have Sixgum, right? And then from there, we have their mold mates, Zetar, Aragon, and Cromar, right? So that's 6. Then we have the Centurion drone, that's 7. Then we have Red Cog, and that's supposed to be 8, but totally forgot Red Cog over here. And so anyway, okay, I'm trying to think what's the best way that I can like break this guy down. Let me see if I can break him down into bite-sized bits off camera, and I'll be right back, okay? 1 second. Actually, while I'm deconstructing him, I wanted to show you how some of the bits are connected. So right now, this is just a leg that I have removed, right? And the thing that I don't like about it is that it's only using a single point of connection, meaning just right here, 1.5 milli, 1.5 milli, hip, thigh, and I wish I did more. And so in a future build, I think I will reinforce it. I mean, there are no issues with it. He stands completely fine, but I did want to show you that these are just the hip connectors. And so, yeah, but I do wish I had more connections. Some of the other areas that I wanted to explain is the arm. The arm, and if you look at the back, and I've removed the Zetar super cannon that was up here at the top. The arm is connected in 2 places. The shoulder consists of this, and I'm going to show you everything. The shoulder consists of the Cromar or the Sixgum covering. I'm just going to call it Cromar, okay, because it's easier. The Cromar covering. On the back of the Cromar top torso, there are thrusters, and so one is plugged in here, and then this is plugged into the Sammer torso, and the second one is plugged into... Where is the second one plugged into? Oh, you know what? Okay. Thruster on one side. The second connection is right here. And then this is plugged into the Sammer arm. So both of them are basically plugged in a roundabout way into the Sammer torso. Okay, so let me remove the top bits and I'll be right back. All right, I have everything removed now. And this is the torso. I think I'm going to get to this last because there's just a lot of stuff involved here. It's like this Katamari big chunky clunky thing. And I didn't reinforce this, so this keeps popping off of the Brunt tread. But we're going to get to this last, okay? So I'm just going to set this off to the side right there. Okay, whatever, dude. We'll just leave those there. Start with this. Okay. These are the feet. They're not that difficult to make. They're actually quite fun to make because I wanted to start from the perspective of how do I make a toe? How do I make a solid foot? And I thought the cog torso was going to be perfect for that. And I think it is. Then you can just bring the head down over here. And now this starts to become a stable platform. And then using these in the back, they help it kind of stand. Okay. The best way I can kind of demonstrate this. So this is the cog torso. And right here, we have a Centurion arm, right? And that's, again, to help with the stability. On the top, I need a little pointing device. Right over here, this is where the cog knees are plugged in. You can see that, right? Sorry, I just don't want to take this apart unless I absolutely have to, but the knees are just plugged in over here on both sides. Then the thighs, it's bent up and it's plugged into the cog torso. And this bit, I think I will remove to show you. You see that? And then the cog torso is just basically bent in on itself. And then you're basically putting it at an angle. Because you're going to take one cog leg, the one with the super cannon from Brunt, the section that has the post, and then you're going to connect that in here. That's going to go into that space, and this is going to go into that port. And so that's just absolutely perfect. Absolutely perfect. Almost lines up like perfectly, right? And then we're going to get the Brunt leg, and then we're going to plug it in to the side of the cog leg. And now this is connected in. And once you get 2 points of connection, it's very, very, very secure. So that's just kind of like a good note to have when you're building. If you ever need to reinforce something, yeah, look for 2 points of connection, okay? And so, cool. Easy enough, right? And we basically do that for both sides. And yeah, and I do have it going split down the middle, so it is like symmetric. And there you go, and that's the legs. Yeah, I know it's really weird kind of that you have it going at this particular angle, but it works for this build. And so, yeah, let me set that to the side. I will do my best to reconnect this guy when we're done, but it may not happen, okay? I'm just letting you know in advance. I think this is the... Really? Wait a minute. Oh, okay. So Cromar is on the right, and then Sixgum is on the left, I suppose. Okay, that's fine. This thing right over here utilizes a design that I have, the arm design that I've used in several old builds. Originally, it was a prototype of like, hey, can I just take one Cromar figure and can I turn him into an appendage? And I was able to do so, actually. So it's really, really neat, in my opinion. So what you do is you take the Cromar legs and then you flip one and then you just plug one into the other, right? And then after that, okay, hold on for a sec. I kind of messed that up. Okay, there we go. There we go. And this thing on the bottom over here, this is actually the Cromar torso, right? Normally it's right side up like this. And you can see I've splayed out the tubes so that they look like fingers. And the waist, I've spun around 90 degrees. And so one thumb is pointing down and one thumb is pointing up. Normally these would be oriented the other way, right? And so with this hip connector, it's connecting into one of the legs. And there's that little post I showed you a second ago that protrudes here that's plugged into the other leg. And so now... Oh, the fingers are kind of stuck. Well, whatever, dude. We'll figure this out later. So generally, that's going to be the arm. And then over here, we have the Sammer waist bit and the Zetar drill. Didn't really have any place to put that. And now we're going to take the Cromar top torso bit, right? You recognize that. We have Cog's blaster in here. And on the back, and this one's kind of loose. On the back, we have the Sammer leg and another of the Cog blaster. And then we're just going to plug this right in here. And then this, I showed you earlier, is going to plug into the back part, and then this is going to be the second appendage. So that's the arm. Easy, right? One more time just to show you over here. 2 of the Sixgum legs attached together, but one's flipped around. And then we have the torso, Sixgum, like chewing gum, right, friends? And then we have Zetar's blaster bit. And then we have Sammer's turret, right? And then back up here, yeah, it's connected into Sixgum's top torso, Cog blaster, and back here, Sammer leg and Cog's blaster. Okay, so we have 2 sets of arms. Looks good. And when I add red Cog to this guy, I'm going to completely redo him. I'm not just going to layer him on. And speaking of layer, one thing I was going to say is the Zetar figure was added at the very end of this. He's another character that I forgot to include. And so this original build actually can exist without Zetar, and it looks completely fine. I had to find some sneaky ways to incorporate him in here, but that's why he's kind of on the surface area. He's on kind of like over here. He's over here. the super cannon is just out there, and this is up in the front because yeah, it's like Photoshop, kind of like it's just the last stuff that I layered on top. This torso is probably going to be a doozy in terms of how to make this. Let's see. I don't want to get all the way here and then suddenly falter and not be able to show you how this is all made. All right, give me a second. I'm going to go off camera and I'm going to think this through. 1 second, okay? There isn't going to be easy way to do this. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to peel away what I can. Then I'm just going to peel away half of the hemisphere so that you can see the cross section of what it looks like. So to start, we're going to take the Zetar thighs, which are pinning the Cromar arm and Sixgum arm together, and I think it's great. It's kind of like a crest that cinches everything together. And you can see it's a little bit loose over here. You know what, dude? I'm just going to go with this side then. And I'm going to start peeling stuff off like that. And maybe I can just leave it in this particular configuration. And I know, like all this stuff, the way it's oriented and stuff, these are just aesthetics. You can do whatever you want with them. Some of them are not aesthetics. They'll be connecting to the build, but these are. This is not an aesthetic. This is a functional piece that you need, okay? So start by taking one of the Sixgum arms, and you're going to see that it's going to naturally get into this kind of weird angle, but you can worry about that later. Within the fist, you want to plug the other Sixgum arm, so he's holding it like that, okay? Then in another one of the fists, you have one of the blaster, and then we have the Aragon arm, or the cog arm, right? So I've just removed that. Where would it be connecting? This post right over here. Oh, you know what? I take that back. This thing actually is a connector, the little brunt bit, because what's going to happen is, hold on for a sec. Hold on for a sec. Okay. That on the arm is going to plug in right here. Right? And then when that happens, this bit is going to plug in to this thing, and that's the Sammer back piece. And I'm going to show you that in a second. So when it connects, yeah, it's going to go in there, and then this bit is going to go in there. So it's going to be like that. Okay. So yeah, let me just take this off. Cool. So I'm going to set it off to the side, right? I know this is not the best way to showcase the toy, and I'm sorry if any of you are lost right now, but just scrub it back, rewind it, and then just watch it through, okay? This bit, the Cromar arm, is attached to the Sammer arm, which has this little pokey thing at the top, so I'm just going to remove this now. All right, now you can kind of see the cross section, almost. I'm going to remove this, and I feel like this is going to mess it up, because, yeah. All right. Okay. All right. All righty, and all lefty, hefty. Cool. Where's my little pokey thing? So I want you to see that there's one Brunt torso back over here, right? The head's facing this way. The little peg is facing inward, but it's not going to be connected to anything. We have the Centurion drone torso down here, right? That's connected to two of these things. These are going to be the hip connectors. Those are Sammer shoulder. And on the bottom, just for aesthetics, we have the back piece for Zetar, right? I mean, I'm just going to call them Brunt torsos. There are 3 Brunt torsos present. This is just aesthetics. These two are functional. And what you're going to do is they're actually kind of reversed. If you look, like this and this are in opposite directions, right? They're almost like mirrored and then flipped. And then what you're going to do is you're going to take that back piece and those two adjoining parts, and you're going to cinch these together. Okay? But before you do all of that, I do want to show you how the top part is connected. So I'm just going to remove this. So that Brunt torso that we have over here, right? It's connected to 2 of the back blasters of Brunt, right? And one's going to have their post facing up because you need to plug the Zetar torso in there like that later. But for the time being, we're just going to have that removed. On the back of Samer's torso, how there's 2 ports over here, this is where we have the cog arms. And again, they need to be oriented in a very, very specific way. One of the things that I've realized in that building these large things, it's I do less of like things that are very symmetric, like 90 degrees, like 45 degrees in sharp, and it's a lot of it is just kind of variable on like whatever works, you know. And that's one of the things that I learned. And I don't want to undo this part, so just bear with me, okay? Samer, you know that little belly bit that pops out? That thing is going to be plugged into his back piece, the Samer back piece that has the posts facing forward and then out. And then up at the top, this is the turret converter, right? And in the turret converter, there's a post that comes out over here, and there's one that goes back here. And the one that's going back here is plugged into this. And that is then plugged into that, right? So you see it, right? The Samer back piece over here, plugged into the belly. And then on the bottom of that, so 1, it's connected to Samer right there. 2, it's connected to Centurion right here, because there's a hole on the bottom here. And then 3, it's connected to the purple Brunt torso by way of the turret adapter and then the 2 back blaster bits. And that's kind of it. I'm going to let you take a look at it one more time. Cross section. Yeah, I know that's not the best way to do this, but I can't afford to kind of like take this apart. Otherwise, I won't be able to put it back. So I'm going to try just layering it back on now. Oh, got to start with the first part. So for this particular build, normally I build with the legs up. This one, I don't know. I don't know what possessed me, but I actually started from the torso. Not something that I commonly do, but I chose to go with the torso primarily because of Samer. Because Samer is the lone bot. He doesn't have any like mold mates or anything like that, right? And so I was like, okay, well, he's going to be the centerpiece then. And that's what he turned out being. That's what he turned out being. Let me get that plugged in there. Oh, quiet stomach. It's early right now and I haven't had anything to eat yet. Oh man, this is making a lot of noise. How is it situated? Okay, we get that in there and then we get that in there. Yeah. Cool, coming together, Heather, right? And then we'll close this up. And cool, and that's like, I don't know, other than this tread that keeps flying off, it's like it's pretty secure, dude. Like, fine, I'll take that tread off. You can see, like, yeah, it's pretty secure. I'll put this thing on later. I'll put this on later as well too. And then so now on the Samer torso we had the hip connectors, right? So yeah, definitely something that I want to improve in a future build is having more than one point of connection. And then the legs will actually be angled back. So he has this kind of like gallant superhero pose with the leg. It's a little bit, what is it? It's a little bit too much. The angle is very extreme, but that's okay. How do I connect this? Perhaps it was in his fist. And then this was... I'll start with this one first. Yeah. I saw, what is it? When I was watching Transformers 1, they got Mufasa coming out, dude. They got prequel to Lion King. I swear, like, there aren't a lot of, I don't know, like, I just want to see new franchises, you know what I mean? But everybody likes to just reboot the stuff that works. But yeah, I was like, well, that's kind of crazy, dude. Origin story of Mufasa and Scar. Okay, he's starting to fall apart a little bit. I'm not going to plug in the rest of him in. I think you saw how the story goes, so I'm just going to leave him like that. I think that's a pretty good pose right there. Yeah, hopefully this has been helpful. Hopefully this is, I don't know, taught you some tips and tricks. And if you have all the bits at home and you endeavor to build this, and you do, please tag me in your community post. I would love to see a remix or even just a direct bake of this at home. And yeah, thanks for watching. I appreciate it. Okay, talk to y'all soon. Bye.